Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and this video is all about some fish that are in this tank right here. The Empire Gudgeon is an amazing fish. Stick around, I'm going to tell you more about it and why it might be the ultimate centerpiece fish for your aquarium. So I am so excited to bring you this species profile on the Empire Gudgeon. This is an amazing fish that is in our 50-gallon lowboy Gudgeons and Goby tank. If you want to see more about that, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner. But this is a great tank that is in our fish gallery, and as you can see here, we've got the Empire Gudgeons. Those are the fish that are all fired up and red. We've got them in here with some purple spot gobies and a large rainbow goby as well as some peacock gudgeons and some cory cats and a few plecos. Now, I do want to say from the start, yes, some of our gudgeons here and our gobies, well, they look a little gnarly, especially our purple spots that you see here. One of them's got a bent spine, but he's been with us for years, eating, living life, and I don't have the heart to do anything other than let him live his life in this tank. Another one of our purple spots has a little bit of a missing fin at the top. He was born that way. That's just the way he is. And so I just wanted to state, yeah, that some of these purple spot gudgeons or purple spot gobies, they look a little rough, but they're our pets. We love them, and they're going to live out their life in this tank, happy, healthy, eating, and doing what they do, even if they don't look the best. So this is an awesome fish. It is from Australia as well as New Guinea. And the water systems there that they're normally found in is usually some type of a river system. They can be in both fast flowing and even slower flowing waters within those river systems. And we'll talk more about that in a little while. Now, size, the internet says they can get almost 5 inches. I have rarely seen them get that large in home aquaria. Usually they're going to max out right around 4 inches or so, maybe 4.5 inches for an Empire Gudgeon that has been around for a little while. Males are going to be larger than females. Males are going to be a little bit taller bodied as well. As you're seeing in this video, the males are showing the amazing color. You've got that nice deep red, as well as the red on their fins and the black and white on their fins. The females in this video are going to be mostly just a tan color, a little bit smaller, not as tall bodied, and certainly going to be a rounder color. Now, I do want to state right here from the beginning, your Empire Gudgeons are not always going to look like this. In fact, it probably took me about a month to get the footage that I'm showing you here where the Empire Gudgeons were fully fired up. A lot of times they're going to be far less colorful. They'll still show a little bit of red and the fins will still have the color, but usually they're not this fired up. Often when they are this red, at least for us, it's when we come down in the mornings getting ready to feed, and they've probably been showing off to the females. This is a relatively peaceful fish. I have always found them to do well in groups, and we have brought in hundreds upon hundreds of these fish. The people that we sell them to, same thing, they absolutely love them. So relatively peaceful fish, and I think that's what attracts people to this fish. You've got really awesome color. You've got a really cool body shape, a very cool behavior. They do well with one another, and they do well with other fish. Now, they are micro predators, so they're not going to be good with really tiny fish, so just be careful there. We'll talk more about that in a second when we get into the Tankmates. But this is an amazing looking fish. Now, Tankmates, you can see here we've got other types of gudgeons, other types of gobies. They fit in just fine. We have cory cats in this aquarium. You can see the super red bristlenose there. It fits in well. We also have a standard bristlenose. This fish is going to be awesome with most other types of community fish that, again, won't fit in their mouth. And their mouth isn't huge, so it's not going to be an overwhelming issue. Almost all tetras are going to work, except for maybe your more aggressive tetras. I might stay away from things like the Buenos Aires tetra, just those more fin nippy ones. But the smaller neon-sized tetras are going to work well. Larger rasboras, and so not the chilies, the dwarfs, or the miras, but the harlequin rasbora. So those rasboras that are going to be a little bit on the medium to larger side will be large enough not to fit in their mouth. Like I said, all the cory cats are going to work fine. Plecos, your bristlenose plecos, clown plecos. Small gouramis like your honey gourami, dwarf gourami, pearl gouramis, which are a little bit larger but relatively peaceful, will work just fine. Daniels, these are fish that I would have no problems keeping with live bearers like endlers. Well, maybe not endlers, they're a little bit small, but guppies, mollies, platies, swordtails. They are absolutely going to eat fry. So this would actually be a good fish for those of you who are always talking about, hey, you know, I'm breeding way too many guppies and endlers. This is a fish that will probably take care of the fry issue. Maybe not take care of all of them, but a good deal of them. This is a fish in terms of water parameters that is relatively easy to care for. So temperatures anywhere from the low 70s up to the mid 80s. Now this might be a fish that would be really good in those warmer water aquariums. pH is, again, going to be pretty much all over the place, anywhere from around a pH of 6 to maybe a pH of 8 to 8.5. We have been keeping our fish at a temperature of around 78 or so. The pH has been right around a pH of 8. And then for the hardness, anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees on your GH and KH is going to be fine. Some people have actually acclimated these to brackish water. We have not done that, so I'm not sure how well that works long term. However, the GH and KH, anywhere from softer water to relatively hard water, again, 5 to 20 degrees. Our tanks are pretty much right in the middle, right around 10 degrees on our GH and KH. Water quality, this is not a fish you want to be throwing in a tank that is not cycled. So no ammonia, no nitrite. If you don't know what a cycled tank means, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner that will take you through the process. Feeding these fish is a relatively easy thing to do, but it might take them a little bit of time to get onto your prepared foods. And so at first, especially when they're smaller, they will go crazy for live baby brine, frozen brine shrimp, frozen bloodworms as they grow a little bit larger. But we have converted them all to North Fin foods. That's what we feed exclusively. If you want to see how we feed our foods to maximize fish health, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner. But North Fin flakes, the micro pellets, even the 1 mil pellets, they absolutely go crazy for those. So once they get on the dried foods, they're very easy to feed. For the tank size, I would recommend at least a 20 long, maybe a 29 gallon might be even a better fit. Again, they tolerate one another fairly well. They mostly ignore other fish. So it's really about that max size as they start to approach 4 inches or so, which is going to take a fairly long time. These are not super fast growing fish, but that 20 long or the 29 gallon would probably be a good minimum. Could you put them in a standard 20? Yeah, you probably could as a centerpiece fish there. If you've got a lot of rock work, like you're seeing here, a lot of plants, driftwood, this is going to provide males when they are a little bit more territorial around breeding time. It's just going to give them a line of sight block. They tend to really tolerate one another fairly well. They don't really chase the females around too much. They're not particularly hard on the females like some of your live bearers would be. So we try to, when we're aquascaping our tanks for the Empire Gudgeon, rocks, wood, hiding places, caves, places to make them feel secure. At times, they can be a little bit timid and reclusive, and so sometimes you might not see them for a few days because they're in the rocks, they're in the wood, and when they're comfortable, just like they are here, they will be out and about and looking awesome. I would recommend, while you're aquascaping your tank and you're thinking about it, dark substrate, dark background, that is going to maximize this red color that you're seeing here. You can see a female here, they just basically look tan. But if you have lighter substrates and a lighter background or no background, they're not going to get as deep dark red as you're seeing in this video usually. So just kind of keep that in mind. Substrate and background are going to make a big difference for this particular fish. Breeding this fish is not something that we've even attempted to do. After doing some research, it's not easy. These fish basically spend their adult lives in very warm water, fresh water. They breed there, have thousands and thousands of eggs. Those eggs in the fry larval stage eventually gets washed away into the estuaries where the water is going to be a lot more salty. That's where they develop, and then they head back to fresh water as adults. And so to try to mimic all of that and to get the fry to survive, and by the way, the larval stage, you can't even feed them infusoria. So I suspect that these fish are probably going to be really, really difficult to breed in captivity, but they are absolutely awesome. If you get a chance to purchase them, I would. Cost, they're expensive. You're absolutely going to have some sticker shock. The cost can be anywhere from around $20 to $25. I've seen them go as high in pet stores as $35 to $40. So this is an expensive fish, but as you can see with the color, it can be a fish that is well worth your time. It's going to fit in nice in a lot of different community tanks. They're not going to be shrimp safe. They're not going to be fry safe. Fish as small as like the dwarf types of rasboras or endlers might wind up as fish food, so just keep that in mind. But this is a great fish. If you want more information on Tankmates, check out the description below. We'll have some info for you there. Really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.